Hi everyone! Okay, so today's video is brought to you by a series of events that happened this week. So being authentic is something that is very important to me. Self-awareness is also really high in my value system. So I try to be very self-aware of the way in which I'm showing up in the world, the way in which I'm impacting people in the world, as well as how I am responding to the way people are showing up and reacting to me. And I made a video for Instagram just letting people know I'm kind of in the thick of it, everybody. And I experienced a loss this week. I experienced a letdown, just some work stress that and the reality of the hours I'm going to be working kind of settling into my body. I'll get into that in another video, I promise. There are plans finalizing and I will let you all know very soon. But that plus I had a mystery pain happening in my stomach that was a bit concerning, to be honest, but now I'm getting to the other side of it. I feel so much better, and I'm very thankful for that. But the combination led me to putting a pretty raw video on Instagram. And in my caregiving days, this was something that I did all the time. I would come on and I would share the raw, the vulnerable, the pain, the aches, the struggle, and the receiving of this video that I put out this week is such a reminder that I have gotten to a place of being in such joy and such peace and such gratitude in my life, and that's all very genuine. But there are a lot of days that I have to process a lot of heaviness, a lot of trauma, a lot of triggering, a lot of letdowns. And I realized that since I am a forward facing person, meaning people are witnessing my life a lot because I share it, that it's sort of, I have, in order to feel like I'm being of better service in sharing my life, because that's the calling that I've had, is I'm going through so much and my internal process can help others and I need to share it. Like I can't turn that calling off. Trust me, there are many days where I just want to like delete all the apps and just live a quiet life in the woods where no one can find me. But that's so not aligned with who I am so much that when I ran away to the woods to hide from everyone, I had a visceral allergic reaction because part of my purpose feels as if I am to be sharing clumps of my heart, pieces of my process, pieces of my story. And it really actually felt like part of this devotion that I have to my life and to my process should be shared in the rawness too, and not just when I'm like, hey guys, I've made it out of the woods, like I'm out of another wintering, I'm back to spring and I'm happy and everything's all good. Instead, I should say, woo, y'all, I'm in the thick of it. I also get in the thick of it. And, you know, the response to that was a beautiful reminder that sometimes sharing the process is bringing people to the light. So when I was a caregiver, I did this all the time. And I felt as if sharing the rawness was part of sharing the reality of living with ALS. But then I became a therapist and I sort of took on this role and took it very seriously because I am intoxicated with the idea of helping people. And it just is one of my major life purposes. And so I take on this role of feeling like I'm to pull everyone to the light very seriously. Like my favorite phrases I've ever heard is like, be a thermostat, be the air purifier in the room. Basically meaning if you can change the energy in the room to something positive, please do it. And I've taken that so seriously that I thought as if I came and shared anything that was my process that felt negative, I would then be changing the energy of the room to something negative. And I've come to realize that's not actually the case. And so y'all have really helped me with this. And like everything in life, if you're open to it, people and things, and there's just going to be signs, there's going to be all kinds of ways in which the world will bring you these epiphanies and bring you these understandings that, okay, sometimes there is another way to do this. And it's okay. And so honestly, like sharing some of my process means me telling y'all some of the ways in which, I'm in the struggle, but I'm also going to tap into the tools that I know that I have used in all the other times I've been in the struggle, and I'm going to bring myself back to the light. And that process in between, there's no timeline. And some days it takes weeks, some days it takes a few days. And there's been some heavy feelings that I've sat in, and it's only needed me to sit in it for a few hours. So the process is never the same, but I want to embody my truth in my inner life as well as the outer life. And the outer life is the one that I'm sharing with y'all. And so I appreciate the reflection the world is giving me, that it's totally valid to share all sides of me and to sometimes say, y'all, I'm sad and disappointed today, and I have to like really sit with this. I'm going to cry before I go see my day of clients, and I'm probably going to go home and veg out because I'm really struggling with this. That's okay. It's just as okay as being like, whew, y'all, I meditated, I journaled a ton. Journaling is my biggest way of processing everything heavy. I talked to my friends, I reached out to people, I did clear communication with the people that I felt let down by, which is something that I'm really, really, really working to inhabit as a embody. Just I'm somebody that clearly communicates where I'm at, and therefore I'm calling in people who clearly communicate with me. And this is all progress. This is all part of me growing and stepping more into an embodied, full, whole hope. And most of what has been going on with me this week is asking my body, what does it need from me? Because whenever I have pain, because I don't have pain very often, and I will say one thing, witnessing Steve and the amount of pain that he was in just to stay alive gives me so much empathy and sympathy for people who have chronic pain, and it makes me live in reverence when I'm not in pain. And so when my body talks to me, because when she talks to me loudly, and she's saying, hey, something's not right, I have no choice but to listen. And I have been asking my body, what do you need from me so that you can feel better and feel more supported? And in a day and age where we live in so much chaos and so much tragedy and so much just nonsense that we feel like we can't do much about, a regulated nervous system is the most important thing we can do for ourselves. And I have daily practices that I do morning and in the nighttime, but I'm starting to feel like that's not enough. Like my meditation and my yoga practice goes a long way. My morning pages that I write goes a long way. But I'm also increasing my workload. And so I was feeling heavily like I needed something in between my clients to help me kind of just have a little, right? So I have been trying to focus on finding my own center of gravity, tending to my heart, listening to my body's needs, resting. My body tells me, girl, take a minute. You don't always have to have like full 60-minute sessions and go get your people punctually. Like, take a few minutes and sit and breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out, and just let your body have a minute to process everything you just heard before you go do this over and over and over again. And, it's now starting to feel more in alignment that I come and share, not just with my community, but with my closest people when I'm like disappointed or sad or frustrated or feeling a little stuck. And knowing that I don't have to figure everything out all by myself is a really beautiful process. And I'm so devoted to the life that I'm creating, and anything that I feel really devoted to, sometimes I get really private with and I get really protective of it. And I've gotten really protective of a lot of things because I've misunderstood the ways in which you can pull people to the light. And this week has made it make so much sense to me that understanding that we don't all get to the success without lots of things that trip us up, and lots of things we have to learn and grow from. And I've spoken about this in a previous video, is that when you see an author publish their book, they don't tell you about the hundreds of no's. And I want to start telling you about the hundreds of no's. I want to start telling you about the things that are like letdowns and how I've picked myself back up from them. And how when you get disappointed with somebody, process it. Figure out what the feeling really needs to be communicated to the other person. And do yourself the justice and speak your truth. And yeah, I think mostly this week has been like, girl, live in alignment, live in your truth. And sometimes that truth looks like, hey, the process is messy and I'm here for it. And I just want you to know that anything you see come out of me that seems positive or from joy or from a place of love, it's genuine. And it comes with a really hard earned. I fell apart at the end of this video, but that's also authentic. Whatever you see that it feels like a success and delight and joy is authentic, but I've had to work really hard to get there, and I'm leaving that all in there. I don't want it to ever seem like I'm one of those abracadabra, everything's great, and I'm gonna do a much better job at making sure you all know that yes, joy is genuine, but it comes from sitting in lots of pain, sitting in lots of loss, sitting in lots of sad, sitting in lots of grief, sitting in lots of stress, breathing through all the anxieties, processing with my friends, processing with my journal, processing with my supervisor, processing with my mom, with my family. There is so much that goes into me showing up in the world in a genuinely fulfilled and happy place. And as authentic as that is, it's gonna be more real if I also tell you that it ain't always that. And a lot of times it takes a lot of work. And I just thank you all for reminding me that it's okay and it's beyond okay to just sometimes not feel alone. And more importantly, I don't have to turn into that hyper independent, I can do this by myself person. Because when I'm living in an embodied state, I know that I am hope and I will return to hope. But some days I need somebody else to shine a little hope to me. And that's okay. So I hope this helps somebody. And thank you all so much for being in this process. If you are somebody who has chronic pain, I'm sending you so much love. And I hope one day you can find peace, because experiencing the pain this week reminds me that to live in a body that's hurting really limits you in terms of what you can do. And I see a lot of y'all in chronic pain showing up like bosses to the world, and I see you. I honor you. I'm in awe of you. I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending everyone else love. Anyone in the struggle, just know it's okay to have those days. And if you just turn inwards and ask your body what it needs from you, then maybe get a journal out, do a little free writing so you can get the answers, and then follow suit. Because when we give ourselves the stillness and the silence, our body knows. And I will tell you, like, my physical health follows my mental health. And so if I can keep my mental health in check, my body thanks me and follows suit. And so I will be working to regulate my nervous system extra, extra, extra hard. And that means I will be implementing lots of more practices. And y'all let me know in the comments if you would like me to share a deeper video of some of the practices I do, because I'd be happy to share that with y'all. Okay, I love you.